Rachel, hello. How's it going? Nice to have you here on the show. Now, first of all, let's tell people why you're here.
Well, I'm here to talk about the fact that terrorism and the threat to the United States is real, and it has not decreased. It has decreased with those the terrorist force that attacked us on 9/11. But because we've been able to decrease Al-Qaeda and that specific group, ISIS has grown and flourished since then.
I think all of us are very acquainted with the Al-Qaeda group, and but what's this ISIS and all? I haven't really kept up much, I must say.
Well, they are basically a terrorist group that formed once we went in, and once actually we took our boots off the ground and we pulled out of Iraq, and then we started to infiltrate Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda started to dissipate, and some of the leaders are still there, just a few, because we've captured the majority of them, but there were some of the lower level militants that were in that group that decided to go off and form their own group and became strong in leadership. They started to take over oil wells, and that's why ISIS is such a large threat, not only to the Middle East, but to every nation, because they have the finances. They have the finances that Al-Qaeda didn't have, that any other terrorist didn't have.
Where do they get their money from? Where do these terrorists get their money from?
Number
other
of places.
Terrorists?
No.
Right.
Well, I think there definitely is special interest from some other, yes, terrorist organizations. There are terrorists that are here that are sleeper cells, as most of you have heard of and know of, that are here and other places in the world that are financially sound and building businesses, and they're sending their money back to these organizations. I mean, that's a reality. And the United States, the FBI, the CIA, we've tracked down some of those and taken them out. And on my Twitter account, sometimes I'll put updates if we catch them, because that's not always publicized in the media. But
so, first of all, let's tell everybody what your position is. What is it that you do?
I am National Chairman of Homeland Security for the Republican Women.
Okay, so you have a Twitter account, and you do updates on that, like, hey, we caught so-and-so because this is what they did, and this is what they were going to do?
Right. And a lot of the time, like I said, it's not publicized, but I'll get the information from the FBI, and I have the legal right to give that information to the public, so I do.
On your Twitter, what do people say back on it?
You know what? Sometimes I get feedback, and sometimes I don't. It just depends. I have.
Do you think the bad guys are following your tweets?
You know what? I've had a few people. I've been hacked a couple of times, and we've tracked the hacks back to the Middle East, which is funny because I say I'm not that important. I'm really not. You know, I just get the information. I'm trying to inform the public. I think that the public needs to know what's going on, and not to be paranoid or anything, but to be more prepared and to be aware of your surroundings. You know, the FBI has a program, it sees something, say something, and I think that too many people go about their day not paying attention to their surroundings when something could be going on right in front of their face, and they don't pay any attention to it.
Is Fresno a target?
Fresno is a possible target because we feed the nation. You know, this is the largest, we're called the breadbasket of the world. You know, this is the largest agricultural industry, and we produce so much of the world's food. So it is a target to a certain extent. You know, we have a jet fuel pipeline that runs in between the 99 and the 5, which can be hit, of course.
What do you mean a jet fuel pipeline? You have a pipeline full of jet fuel running?
Yes, we do. And there are stopping points out in the country, because if we are ever attacked here on our homeland and the jets need to land, there are areas out in the country where they can go and land, because it's
they go refuel
space.
Out in the middle of the desert.
Refuel
but wouldn't that be a place that the terrorists want to blow up first?
Well, you would think so, but every so many miles there are shut-off points to where even though they can they can blow up 2 miles at a time, basically. So unless they want to, take the time to do all that, which I think ISIS has more of an agenda to kill the American people, to hurt us, and not just take away our ag, unless they want to do something major simultaneously, which they're planning, which they have the money, the ability,
so
and
they
the
don't
brains
really want to
do
tangle
it.
with our army. What they want to do is they want to come in and hit the innocent American individuals.
They want blood for blood, and that is the Muslim way. That is, it's in their Quran. If there is some sort of violence, the only revenge that they seek out for, they don't, yes, they pray and they have their prayer time and they have, all of their constant rituals. But the bottom line is, if someone in their religion, in their group, is killed, then the only way that they can have payment for that is to come back and kill someone else.
Well, isn't that like eye for an eye? Isn't that in every holy book?
It is eye for an eye, but oddly, it's not in our president's book, because, in his speech last night, he said that, if we're threatened, then there will be no safe haven. We have been beyond threatened. We have had 2 Americans that were not only killed, but they were disgracefully beheaded, and it became national news, national media. Anyone could have seen it. You just Google it, and there it is. And he's talking about threats. We are past threats. Americans have died. What is going on, and what is not going on, and why?
9/11. Is there a chance of another catastrophe that size?
There's a chance of a catastrophe 10 times that size. ISIS is Al-Qaeda on steroids, and they are very methodical. They are well funded, and they're very well planned out, and they're well spread throughout the world. So yes, absolutely.
What's their presence like in the United States, or how about California? How about a little closer to home here?
Well, I can't, of course, say exactly who is here. I know that the FBI has people on their watch list that they definitely keep an eye on, and I know that with this border crisis that we have going on, it's not all people from Hispanic nations seeking safety. They have caught some people from the Middle East trying to sneak in undocumented through that program, which are more than likely terrorists. I mean, it hasn't been completely proven yet, but they are being held.
Okay. I think most people want to just live their life. I mean, we don't want to think that there's terrorists amongst us. Well, we don't want to think that there's going to be a chance of a terrorist attack in our own front yard here, but you're saying it's it's real. It could happen.
Absolutely, and no, we don't want to think about it, but when it's here, then it's too late. When 9/11 happened and when Boston happened, everyone was in fear, but people were also saying, why wasn't this prevented? Why didn't we know that this was going to happen? Well, even though we have had those horrific acts of terror here on our homeland, we are still the strongest nation. We still have the strongest security, even though it's depleting because of the military decreasing under Obama's ruling. But we're still the safest. The FBI is still on top of it.
Is it Obama's fault that the military is decreasing?
Those were executive decisions.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a fact.
Okay, well, if it's a fact, then we'll leave it alone. All right. Well, hey, would you stay up here with me I have Jeff Finley here. And do you know Jeff?
No, but I heard that he actually was a survivor and witnessed.
Okay. Would you stay up here for the next segment with me when we talk to him?
Sure.
Okay. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back on The Buzz with our next guest, Jeff Finley. Stick around.